Good morning. Welcome to the saw shop. Well, as you see, we're not in the shop. Um, this is gonna be episode 2 of the road trip series. But we've took the weekend off, and me and my wife and my father-in-law and his wife, we've come to our house down in Eufaula, Alabama, and we just last night was pretty rough. There was a tropical storm moving through the area, and we had some severe weather. Without power for a while, but got up this morning, and just like God always promised, the to calm after a storm, and we it is very peaceful this morning. Probably got, I don't know, 4 inches, 5 inches rain out of the storm so far. But I thought I've been thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and the thing I think I want to talk about this morning is um, that question I hear all the time is, I've just got a farm and ranch style saw. Can I port it, or is it worth porting? Should I port it? So I want to. I think I want to tackle that this morning. So that as the answer to everything, the answer to this is it depends. And everything has a scenario, just like we talked last time about porting. It depends on what you're going to use it for. Um, in this situation, same thing, because of what you're going to use it for. So if I'm a So I want to caveat this whole discussion by saying this: if I'm a commercial customer and my job depends on the workability of my chainsaws, and I run them 10 hours, let's just say 10 hours plus a week of runtime on them saws, you do not go purchase a home and ranch style saw to port it to use in that application. If you're going to use it commercially, by all means, you need to have commercial equipment. Um, but with that being said, that's part of that depend. But with that being said, the other side of that is, if I'm that guy and I've already got let's for example, let's just say I already have a MS 271, or I've got a 450 Rancher 50cc chainsaw, Homeowner. They're considered, you hear a lot of people say clamshell style chainsaw. If you already got that, then yeah, they're worth porting. And yeah, you can see considerable increases. And yeah, you can help the efficiency of that saw out and make something that works a lot better for you to use. Um, and the reason I say that is, if you've already got one of those saws, you bought them, say at one time, there was a storm came through, so you ran down to the local Ace or out to Lowe's or Tractor Supply and bought you one of these saws, and now it served its purpose, but now you want something more out of it. Well, the fact that you don't have that initial investment in the chainsaw no more, yeah, it's worth porting, because you're gonna have a few hundred, you're gonna have several $100s in a good port job, ported muffler, and those kind of things. But if you've already had the saw, well, financially, you're not upside down and trying to make that work. Um, Now, if you don't have the saw, by all means, do not go and start with a homeowner saw. Go find you a pro saw. Go find a 261 or 550 XP, because in that case, they're going to have the performance that their performance will be close to what the other saw in a portiform will be. So um, then it doesn't make financial sense to do that. Um, the other thing you run into is, and like I said, and that first thing is, if you're going to be putting hours and hours and hours on this saw, then you come into, you know, how long is it going to hold up? How long is the anti-vibe going to hold up? How long is just the flex of the saw and the ruggability and those kind of things going to be there. But I hope I answer your question. I hope you understand, because I get it a lot. I don't know why you porting a 450 Rancher, or why you porting a 271, the MS 271. Well, they're porting it because they, in most cases, they already have it, and that's the saw they have, so that's the saw they want to spend the money on. And I'll be totally transparent. When I first got into chainsaws and got into working on them, and about the only commercial stuff I had was customers. I didn't have. I couldn't justify going out and spending the money to buy a commercial grade chainsaw to port for myself. So I had those 391s and Husky 350s and those kind of saws that I ported, because to a person that's going to cut a few cords of firewood every year, you can port a chainsaw, get 25-30% out of it, and make it feel like something so much better. Most times I tell people, and I said, well, you're looking at a probably a 25% increase, 30% increase in horsepower on most saws, and in that case, that's kind of like stepping up 10 cc's in class. So that's kind of like having a 50cc chainsaw that cuts like a 60, but with the size of 50, and so it makes it much funner to use. And a saw like that, when you're not having to work as hard with it, it's actually safer to you, because you don't do stupid stuff trying to make the saw work for something it ain't supposed to. But anyway, I hope um, I hope you kind of understand where I was coming at with this conversation. And so just know, if you have if you have a homeowner saw, you'd like to get it ported, by all means do that. Um, if you don't have a saw and you need a saw and you want something, maybe you don't even need it for a commercial purpose, but you want something in a better performance range, go buy yourself a commercial grade chainsaw. Um, and so, that being said, I'm gonna sign off today. But if I can ever help you, AJ Saw Shop. All right, have a good one.